So I'm Lisa Hogarth, I'm the co-chair of Kirklees Stand Up to Racism. I was really concerned with the riots that I saw over summer, and I just felt I needed to do something. I didn't want us to go back to when I was a child, when it was a lot more sort of racism was a lot more overt, and I found it very worrying. I've got my children, and if maybe I have grandchildren in the future, I want it to be a safe environment, and I don't feel, people didn't feel safe over the summer.
I suppose growing up as a privileged white person in apartheid South Africa, I felt an obligation to work for an equal and just society, probably as a consequence of the reality that my mother, who was Austrian, was a Holocaust survivor. She learnt this concept of never again and taught us that never again didn't just apply to Jews, it applied to all humanity.
There's so many things that are happening locally and nationally and internationally that it's ever so important now to make sure that each and every one of us that stand knows that they're not alone. It's not just you standing there and having to face issues of racism. It's important that we make sure that we're not alone, and we make sure that you tell each other that you don't have to suffer in silence, really.
I think there are a lot of misapprehensions about race that are intentionally put into the public domain. And I think the most important thing in terms of engaging on issues of race is to simply engage with ordinary people from diverse backgrounds, to show people that regardless of what we look like, regardless of where we come from, at the end of the day we're all the same. Where some people seem to think that certain lives are worth more than other lives, the reality is that all human life is sacred.
Having seen firsthand what happens if we do not do anything at all will mean that we would end up being alone and having to deal with mental health situations, which is not good for anybody at all. So when I've been able to speak about what I've had to go through, what I've seen, and what other people have come to me and have spoken to me about, it gives me energy to be able to have those conversations with other people and say that they are not alone as well, and we will stand against racism in all forms.
At the end of the day, this is what I feel, we're all humans, and I try to connect with people on a human level, okay? And try and also understand, because sometimes when people are being aggressive towards you, it's because they're frightened and they may have some misunderstandings. So I try and be quite open and, find out, what's making that person, maybe being racist or whatever,
By acknowledging the evil that exists in the world, I get out of bed every morning thinking, today I'm going to do something against that. And if we do that as individuals, but as part of a community, that gives enormous strength. It gives resilience. In community, together, we are so much better than we are as individuals, and it's the only way we can survive the world as it's currently functioning.